Good evening and welcome to the Chama. I'm Grace and Salame, and with me here, go on.
I'm Kamal Kaur, East FM, Star, you know the drill now.
Oh, okay, fine. So what am I? I am the Star in what, Kiss TV, and a yoga lover. Yes, that's what I am.
Okay. I'm Sean Bartley. I love media, I love strategy, and I love the elections.
Fantastic. And tonight is a special program because we're focusing on presidential aspirant Martha Karua, who took out her time to speak with us about her presidential journey. Let's hear from her. Hello, Mheshimiwa. Welcome to the Chama. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to ask you, you made a very big move last week and you declared your wealth. Why did you decide to do this honorable thing?
I did it voluntarily to set an example. Yeah. And I think also it helps Kenyans monitor whether those in authority are actually dipping their hands in the public coffers. They'll monitor if there is such a sharp increase in what I own, then they'll be able to monitor what is happening and to raise the necessary questions.
Why are you running for presidency, Madam Martha Karua?
Well, as a Kenyan, I owe a civic duty to my country, not just to vote, but also to ensure that there is good leadership and the country moves forward. I look at this country, at our potential, as a people, as a country, and I know that it can be better for everybody.
Okay. And to break it down, you talk about insecurity, which is a big issue, major issue in the country currently. And there's a letter you wrote, and it reads, "The state of our national security gives me a lot of concern. Granted, we've had a challenging 5 years in so many respects, and we have some heroic performances by security personnel. But the bitter truth must be told. We have also the weakest presidency in the history of this country," you say. Why did you say this?
You know, people say nature abhors a vacuum. If you have a leadership that doesn't come out clear on their position, then it means that those in positions of authority can act as they wish because there is no clear instructions. And this can be detrimental. That is why even in terms of Christian faith, we talk of sins of commission and omission. And I think the Kibaki presidency, there are more sins of omission than commission, because it is necessary that direction be given. When Kenyans vote in a president, they want that president to be the overall. And that's why the Americans say the buck stops with the president. You never can be saying it's my officers. You are the overall.
That's true. How else will you handle the insecurity issue? Like, will you introduce new police reforms? Will you make our policemen live more comfortable lives? What methods will you?
Some of the things is to accelerate the reforms of the force, which have started with the appointment of the Inspector General. But we need to see the Inspector General doing what the judiciary has done, vetting the top levels of the officers to rid the force of corruption. We need to see retraining and improved curricula. We also need to equip the police with hardware and software. You cannot, in this time and age, be policing without use of technology. It is possible for the police to check on areas far off without having to go there. With technology, our forces would not have fallen to thugs in the Suguta Valley. They would have been able to scan the valley from their desks. We would be able to monitor the situation in Tana River. In our borders, we have to adopt modern technology.
And speaking of money, the national budget, how can we afford to do all this? Introduce more equipment for the police, universal healthcare, meaning more clinics, more hospitals. Will this mean more money for the taxpayer? And also with the devolved government growing, what will that mean for us?
Under our Martha Karua presidency, I would not raise taxes. I would first bring fiscal discipline. I would seal the loopholes. And that is how to get it rolling. We keep on talking about the expense of running the counties. If Treasury's admission is that they lose 1/3 of the budget every year to corruption and to misuse. In a budget of last year, which was about 1.3, almost 0.4 trillion, you're talking of close between 400 to 500 billion shillings. The budget, estimated budget for running the counties is nowhere there. Plus, these jobs for the officers running the counties, except the governors, we have had workforce doing the job before. So it's just ensuring that there is efficiency in both use of both human and financial resources at all levels of government.
I guess as a woman and coming into this big office, how will you ensure that the third gender rule is realized? Even now, as they say, the court ruling is to push it until 2015 because it can't be done after an election. How will you ensure this happens?
The court gave a ruling that, in my view, is totally incorrect, but we are bound by it because it's the highest court. Because what they did was to postpone. Yet the Constitution says progressive. When you say 2015, you postpone to 2015. Where is the progressive?
All right, ladies, that was Martha and the viewers talking about her vision and how she plans on implementing each and every one. What stand out for you?
What stood out for me? She said something about no taxes, and I'm thinking, somebody said that in America once. Read my lips, no new taxes. And then there were taxes. But you know what? Overall, I do like her. I do like her. I have a soft spot for her. Not only because she retweets me and talks to me on Twitter, but she seems focused. She's quietly focused on something. Yes, I was a bit worried about her not having announced who her running mate is and all that. So obviously, because if I believe in her, I'll want to know more about her. Why the secrecy? Why are you holding back? But she has now. And I'm like, okay, let me focus on what I want to, take out of this and think ahead of this.
But do you trust her? You said she talked about not increasing taxes, but then
everybody says that. Look, I tell my kids, I'll think about giving you dessert if you finish your vegetables. They don't know, like, whatever.
Okay, so just a ploy to...
I do that as a mother. Okay. I do that as a mom. I do that to my kids. It's human nature to dangle something, that proverbial carrot stick. And I'm not saying she's doing that. What I'm saying is, I would do that. Let's wait and see.
So quite frankly, if your children got to vote, they wouldn't be voting for you, right?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
But they have no say
Good. Okay.
I'm concerned with her seeming incapability to form partnerships.
A coalition, you mean?
Yeah, like Kenyan politics is coalition politics.
But this was after the post-election
She's saying she
violence.
doesn't know when this started.
Before.
Okay, you could have said this is when it started. Now, since then, this is how we are working. And people have been forming partnerships, strategic. I don't really think Uhuru and Ruto are best of friends, but, they've come to some kind of understanding. I would have loved to see something like a Martha Karua and Mudavadi coalition.
But is it helping the country? Because one thing she pointed out about forming a coalition is that she says since the Kibaki and Raila coalition, corruption has been on another level. It's been bigger and grand. And she's saying it's because of the two of them coming together. It's going into one pocket and the other one. So corruption for her has...
Okay, but that was a very clumsy way of forming a coalition. The country was in crisis. Something needed to be done. And no one is saying we should go back to that. We don't like having two ministries of health and... It's like everything was split so that ODM had representatives and PNU had the same thing. Nobody wants that either. But now the partnerships we're seeing, I don't think Uhuru and Ruto are saying we'll have duplicate ministries either. Okay. But when you run for president, it's not like before where if you lost the presidential bid, you were still a member of parliament and you were still a lawmaker. Now when you lose, you're out of the race completely. You're not a governor. You're not a lawmaker. So she's denying. What I like about Martha is politics is tough. Electoral politics, especially for women, is a nightmare. Sean was telling me some crazy story about vuvuzelas.
Vuvuzelas drowning out a nominee.
Some woman stood up to speak, and this guy had his people with vuvuzelas, so she's struggling to speak. Yeah, exactly.
They're drowning around.
I love the strategy. I just love it.
You are a strategist. Have you been advising them?
Not at all. Not at all. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. All of them.
So it's rough for women. She stood out. She's managed to succeed for well over a decade.
She has 20 years.
But I don't know about, it's like, I don't know, something falls apart with Martha. I want to be on her side, but there's something about her that's just not working with other people. It's even unfeminine. Feminists, I mean, women, we work together. It's our
What do you mean? Like, do you know at her office, all the people she's hired are women?
I don't.
And very young, vibrant, who can bring in ideas.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on a national level. That's within her office. I'm the voter she should be talking to. She hasn't reached me, and I'm not convinced.
She tweets you.
Yeah,
but
she's very accessible. Honestly, and she. By the way, it's a verified account.
Aspirant.
She talks, and I want to be able to talk to somebody. I remember about 5 years ago on the East FM Breakfast Crew, we interviewed Raila Odinga, and I told him, what if we were talking to him? He was talking about being an accessible president back then. I will be accessible. You can come talk to me. So I said, okay, sir, what if on the 7th of January, I want to pick up my phone and wish you a happy birthday? And he was like taken aback. Well, she knows my birthday. Yes, I do. I do. If I want to. You are going to run my country. I'm going to know basic things about you.
Okay.
So if I'm talking to Martha Karua on Twitter, say she's so accessible on back then there was and she talks
sends
back
emails,
to me.
Facebook.
Just last week I was talking to her about something about this coalition Meneno and asking her about her running mate. She talked to me. It's not like somebody sits there tweets
So
for her.
who is her running mate?
So now she has
made something. Yeah, clearly he's not made an impact.
Or
We don't know
something.
if
It's something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
a
good.
family man who has values and who, that's all I got out of it. No, I didn't get the name, but my focus is right now on Martha.
That's a smart move. I like the family man thing. Because at the moment, if I look at her, she's not a family woman. Okay?
Because she's not married?
Because she's not married, because that structure is not there. Now, when Valentine was just talking about you need in politics to make partnerships. And there's no friendship here. Okay, there's no friendship in politics. Politics is a dirty knuckles game. Okay, and when I get the same feeling from Martha that she's good at standing up on her own, but you stand up on your own in politics.
She's not by herself. She has NARC Kenya, a whole party behind her.
Yes.
And if she's president, she'll have the rest of them will be with her because they have to. She'll be chief of office. What do you mean by, give me an example
Who else
of a
is
country
in NARC
with
Kenya?
coalitions that
Who's
are
the
doing well?
NARC Kenya gubernatorial candidate for Nairobi?
I have not done my research.
Or anywhere in the
one.
country. Can you name a senator who's running under NARC Kenya? Does she have other people in the party who are running for office on a council level? Can you name one? Not even 10. One. There's something, I don't know, I find that arrogance.
It's so exclusionary.
Yes.
There's the rest of our presidential aspirants, 5 of them, okay, and then there's her, okay. Now, 5 of them are going to be unemployed after this, so we're going to have 1 president.
That's true.
Okay, and there's going to be a certain amount of winning involved with being able to be involved in a coalition. Coalitions are not an anomaly. Coalitions happen across the world.
That's true.
They create parties that then go on for hundreds of years. Okay, we may be just at the beginning of something, but I do believe in coalitions because at the end of it, when we've done our elections, the most important thing we do is learn to agree.
That is true.
And that is part of coalitions, it's part of developing partnerships.
It is.
Now, it's just the Martha Karua I get and I feel is not a partnerships person.
She is.
She seems to be standing.
Coalition shouldn't happen pre, but post, if necessary.
She
why
seems
not?
to be standing. The days of that are over. Like within the new constitution, it's you and your running mate, and we vote you in. She seems to be standing on and she's done. This is what disappoints me about her. She's succeeded, as I was saying, with electoral politics, which is really difficult for women. And then now she's running on a platform of integrity. We won't question too much that she said she only owns 1 car.
And I have to
because
cut
I
you
think
there,
that's
Valentine.
hilarious. Hold on.
We'll come back and you'll continue. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more.